All right, the club is back today, and we got a special guest, Deeze, swinging by. I believe he's been on the club a couple times, although it has been a while. He's, a famous man in the crypto and NFT streets. But I was gonna say low key underdog and best ball sicko, but I don't even think it's low key. I think he's just a professional drafter now. So we're gonna get his thoughts on best ball summer, and then we're all gonna hop in a sprint draft here on Underdog Fantasy. This is the club. I'm Pete with Clay and Andy with guest Deeze. Let's do it. I feel like Christian Kirk is the most eliminator ass player I've ever seen in my life.
No, I go to Costa Rica almost every day.
I wouldn't search Will Levis while you were sharing your screen.
We finally got a little updated intro here to move past our Top Shot days there. So
yeah, I was about to say that's new, unless I've just blacked out the last couple of times we've done this.
Well, you're traveling to Costa Rica a lot, so
I still blacked out after that Will Levis video.
Jet lag.
So it's fitting.
Yeah. Deeze, special guest. I got to meet you in Miami during the Dog Bowl, but it's been a while, man. How you been?
Been great, man. Been drafting like a sicko the last 2 months. Basically, drafting is saving me from over trading a whole bunch of liquid dog shit on the crypto side, and it's a blessing right now. I think I'm 250-ish drafts deep, so it's been a pretty fun couple of months.
I remember that, like the ebbs and flows I've had when I was like really into crypto, or you're staring at the price too much. And like one of the best things is to have just a really good distraction. And then it's like you come back around and you're like, oh yeah, I haven't been like staring at this pot that won't boil. I feel like drafting is the perfect distraction.
Yeah, I set alerts and hop in drafts, and I know if no alerts go off, I don't really miss anything. And if alerts go off, it's easy enough to adjust in a draft. I mean, sitting in front of this 49-inch screen, I can easily just pull up the chart or whatever and do what I have to do. So it's nice. We're feeling good about this year. Had a horrible year last year. Probably picked all the worst players. So hopefully we don't do that again this year. And yeah.
Andy, are you guys still in? I think I'm actually in it. I don't ever check it, but isn't there like a crypto NFT best ball Telegram chat?
Oh, it's still going strong now. We got like 80 people in there.
Nice.
It's like
every
pretty
day
active
we're
too.
talking.
People chatting about strategy and all that. Like Crutches is really active in there. Sobe, if you've interacted with him, got a pretty good crew.
You guys are just so prolific online. The fact that you can have these like vibrant lives on X, in a Telegram chat, in Discord chats. I don't even know how you guys do it all.
Well, I don't do the Discord part.
Okay.
I'm basically Telegram only these days, so that saves me a lot of mental
life hack
processing.
Yeah,
I do check the Deposit Kingdom here and there to see what's going on, but all the channels, like I just look at it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like when I go to Telegram, it's like one channel, and it's like, all right, we can just shit out whatever's on our mind in here and not really worry about it.
The funny thing about the Deposit Kingdom too is there's so many like these sub communities like nested within threads. Like I know the Badge Bros Hoops thread is now taking on a life of its own. I'm sure Andy will attest, where it's like I don't even have that thread as part of like my view, and I'm like, there's all this activity going on in my fucking Discord that I don't even know about.
It's no longer about hoops. Yeah.
Yeah, the hoops chat is not about hoops.
Well, it makes sense because hoops is over right now.
Even during the season, a lot of the times it's just like random every once in a while we'll sprinkle in some combo about basketball.
Yeah, so Deeze, you said you're drafting like everything, right? All different contests. I know you're drafting on DraftKings. It like doesn't matter if it's a fantasy football contest, you can draft, you're in it.
Basically, yeah. If it's like $50 or less and I can win over $100,000, I'm interested. Except weekly winners. We were talking about that. I will not draft the single weekly winners. That's where I draw the line.
I know you had a thread, or not necessarily a thread. You had a post about some of your takeaways. I think it was from DraftKings, but what are some of do you have any bigger macro thoughts on best ball this summer?
Nothing that's super original, honestly. I think I listen to everything you and Pat and every other, big influencer puts out these days. And I just find myself being like really light on running backs this year. I have a lot of like 4 and 5 running back builds. Last year I was taking a lot more like 6 and 7. And, DraftKings in particular, man, they love their running backs rounds like 2 through 10. So I'm way more likely to be happy with like CMC, Bijan, Brees, Gibbs, and then kind of ignore running back for a little bit and just grab all the good wide receivers. Like I got Xavier Worthy at like 8.12 the other day.
Wow.
Over there. Like they don't like the people without the pictures. Like they're like, oh fuck, this guy doesn't have a picture.
Yeah, his ADP is like a full 20 picks lower on draft.
Yeah, I saw JSN go at like 118 in a draft. Like I'm just, I have a hard time ignoring these wide receivers over there. So I like, I'll start running back on DraftKings and then still end up with 5 to 7 wide receivers I really like. Whereas on, Underdog, if you're not pissed and you're losing, it seems like, especially like in these stream drafts, I'll hop. I was in a couple 15-second drafts with Davis, and it was just hell. Like Pitbull, and you're taking George Pickens on the 3-4 turn, and you're happy about it. And you go to DraftKings, it's a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's funny because it's pretty counterintuitive because on DraftKings it's full PPR, and so
there's PPR bonus
even more. But
you're getting Malik Neighbors sometimes at like pick 40, and you're just wondering how this is even possible.
Yeah,
we got a nice lobby here. A lot of familiar friends.
Yeah, who do we got?
We will not be taking early running backs.
I had done a sprint earlier this afternoon, just like a couple hours ago. Nez was in there with me. This drafter Slick Willie was in it, although he auto drafted his entire team. So we'll see what he's up to now. But yeah, I was talking about it with Ron last night, where it's like, I had on like Best Ball Breakfast where I basically just flipped the order, where I took T Higgins in the third because, I wanted to get my wide receivers. And then I get this great value on Derrick Henry. And it's like the ADPs are just flipped. It's like the same team that you would get in another room. You just have to navigate it from a different approach, basically.
Mm-hmm.
More Twitter appropriate.
Let's see here. Wait, oh yeah, you're Deeze Deeze, duh.
Yeah, I wish I could change my name to Deeze, but I don't think that's in the cards.
I know someone actually commented on one of my videos the other day and was like, "Can I change my username on Underdog?" I was like, "I don't think so, buddy. I don't think that's gonna happen here."
I wasn't thinking when I made it. I was just like, "Yeah, fuck." I think someone took Deeze, and then
I think Deeze is taken. I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah, my name on Twitter before Deeze5 was Deeze Deeze, so I was just like, I was copy that.
That would be a really cool thing for people are always talking about. Here, let's make this pick. Clay, you got any Galbrain ideas for us here?
No, I'm chalking it up here with GW.
How people are always talking about like different badges or gamification stuff. It would be cool if you reached a certain amount of drafts where it's like you could like take away a username from someone else. It's like this guy who's done 3 drafts doesn't get to keep it. Like Dez has 1,000 drafts. You get that username now.
I would be grinding. I would do weekly winners if they would let me get that.
In this room, I like Nico. I'm fine with Drake. Also fine with Gibbs, but I don't want to get buried. So
let's do some Nico.
Love the Drake London.
Do you find it hard, Deeze, to kind of like recalibrate because you are doing so many different formats and like going from a marathon to a sprint, really requires a different mindset?
Yeah, I think with the way I've been drafting, I do them kind of in chunks. So I did 125 eliminators basically straight, and then I've done like 1 eliminator in the last 3 weeks, and I've done mostly BBM, the big DK. I was talking earlier about like with marathon, I just kind of turned my brain off. I'm doing marathon when I'm watching a TV show and I'm just on my phone, and I'm just team snacking for the most part, not getting super crazy and just thinking like, I think this team outperforms, and if they outperform, here's my stack. So I don't find it too hard. Sprint is a little tricky. Like I have easy sheet pulled up over here, and I'll probably start putting my team in there to just see like what the fuck multiple correlations I can get. I think you're thinking a lot more about weeks like 15 and 16 in this, and you're weighting them equally, and you're not as heavy on the 17 correlations.
Yeah, for sure. Andy, did you say you've been doing a bunch of these in slow draft form?
Yeah, I like
just pulled
up my exposures for the first time. I haven't looked at all, but I only have like 28 or so done. I have 1 million going, and they're not great. I can't say I'm super jazzed.
No, I'm not liking the ones I have either.
Yeah, I have 30% Terry McLaurin. I don't really know how that happened. Can't say that he's someone I'm like super heavy targeting really there. So that's interesting.
He's just there. You need a wide receiver, and you
Yeah.
don't want to click on Keenan Allen. So you're like, oh,
Putting
fuck.
the
like,
scary and scary Terry.
Yeah, and I
I'm
think
just
it's because I like
blacking out in the
Jaden
fifth
Daniels is my
round.
highest owned QB, and so it makes it like
Okay.
a little bit
Yeah.
easier. Like, oh, I'll grab Jaden Daniels later.
I found myself taking way too much like third round elite QB in my first 10 or so sprints. I'm sure I'll take AJ Brown in this too. Or I mean, I'll take Hurts with Brown in this if I don't get sniped.
Are
but-
you the one responsible for the higher Josh Allen ADP in the sprint than in BBM?
I'm
Is
definitely
that you?
taking more Hurts than Allen, but I'm not helping. I'm definitely pulling that thing down.
Deeze, did you find that it was really hard to get out of Eliminator brain? Because, like, you know, part of our brand here is Eliminator has picks. I feel like that might be the most challenging contest to like fully pull your head out of your ass and be like, all right, now I got to focus on some upside plays and not just, you know, the baseline joints.
Yeah, I when I draft Eliminator, I feel like I always have like 6 RBs or sometimes even 7. I don't know if that's the right way to play it, but I know when I come into these, I never have 6 or 7. I normally have 5. Like I'm gonna push Jalen Hurts here and just see what happens because I know if I don't take Tank Dell, it's gonna be gross.
Yeah. Pete, what do you want to do here? I'm pretty wide open.
I
Like, Tank would give me
do
my
like-
pick.
I do
but
like Zay
I
and
do.
just pushing it and then taking like whatever onesie we like after that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, do you get nervous at all when it like thinking about, you know, week 14, kind of make it out the pod, those bye weeks? Like, I love it for the sprint, love it for the playoffs in any format, but I've definitely been not trying to go so hard in the paint on like the top Houston, Baltimore guys because I'm getting a little bit more nervous about like, well, what happens if I'm sitting there in like second place, you know, week 14?
Yeah.
Not gonna feel so good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, you know, not ideal. And it's also partly why I don't like the Omega Baltimore Houston stacks, or at least with that really premium draft capital. Like to basically not have like 4 of your top 5 picks in round 14 doesn't seem ideal.
I like the skinny correlation there for sure. Like,
All right, let's see here. I'm dealer's choice. I don't mind grabbing another wide receiver, grabbing one of these tight ends. What do you like?
I'm fine with. We can go tight end. I mean, I'm not super high on T, but if you want to go T, I'm fine with that.
T
I
or
like McBride a
Kelsey?
lot.
Or
Let's
you wanna
go.
McBride? I'm good with McBride.
Yeah, let's go McBride.
I click McBride so much. We'll let Deeze get his Hurts in the 4th.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Snap
cut
pick.
these.
Did
Classic.
you push the plane on that, or did you actually click it?
No, I clicked draft. That felt good.
I didn't feel like being an asshole. Hurts would have been.
You
a
could
good
have
pick,
taken
but
him. It would have helped me
it's
get
not.
under. I think I have like 40% Jalen Hurts through my sprint so far.
How
That's
much of
accurate.
that is it always with Brown?
It's
or
almost
Devontae?
for whatever reason, my luck with picks is like I'm getting picks 9 through 12 at a very high rate. And I'm just kind of miserable at my wide receiver options there. And I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to take Hurts. Because I do think in the sprint, having an elite QB in this final 3-game like stretch feels a lot nicer than punting off 3 QBs and hoping for 3 good scores. Like if they're hot at the end of the year, especially the last 2 games like against Washington and Dallas, I think they could put up a ton of points. Maybe not so much the Pittsburgh week, but I'm a Pittsburgh slappy and end up with like 20% Najee, 25% Jalen Warren, 15% Freiermuth. Like I'm always probably going to have a fucking Pittsburgh player to bring back with them anyway. So it kind of works out in this.
Is that a geography thing? Do you have?
Yeah,
ties to
definitely. I mean, I
Pittsburgh?
grew up between
Okay.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh and just cannot stop clicking these AFC North players. Like I know Arthur Smith's going to fuck me and I'm going to be swearing as Cordarrelle Patterson gets like 19 touchdowns or something absolutely ridiculous.
It's gonna happen, man.
I can't see what this emoji is here, but
It's
I'm
a
sure there's
salute.
some kind of solidarity from Nez there.
Nez
get
is
wild with you guys
going with a
back-to-back
very
picks.
high T start to his team.
Yeah, Nez, Brees Hall, Jameer Gibbs, Cooper Kupp, Kelsey. FF Links from the 7 started Bijan, JT, and Henry. Clay and I are Garrett Wilson, Nico, Zay, and Trey McBride. Deeze, AJ Brown, Drake London, Tank Dell, and Hertz. And then Andy, Tyreek, Evans, Achan, ETN, and then Keenan. Are you sure you didn't want to take a scary Terry there, man?
I pretty actively chose not to, having now finally looked at my exposures. But
Keenan
we'll see, it's so
Allen,
hard doing slow drafts because I just have no idea. Like
Yeah.
I think I literally have like 50 sprints going right now, and so I just have no clue.
You need
what my
real-time
exposures are.
exposures. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do try to get a little different too with the sprints, because if you do make it, like say you make whatever, two out of your 12 teams make it, you don't want those teams to have much overlap. Like you want to give yourself, if every team I have is Hurts, AJ Brown, Drake London or Nico, and then Tank Dell or
Jaylen
Zay,
Warren.
I'm not going to be super stoked by, if any of them get hurt or anything. Like I do find myself like, yeah, I'm going to take Kyle Pitts here. I like taking Lennon and Pitts together and just hoping they outperform. But I probably do that too much too. Like, so maybe I'll get weird and throw in a running back after this.
What do you like, Clay?
I kind of like Richardson.
I'm down.
Yeah, get some upside there.
We'll grab Richardson. Yeah, the sprint. Yeah, Sacrilegious had a cool article about it early on, calling this like the the diversification tournament too, where because the pod dynamics like prevent you from competing against your own rosters until week 17. And at which point, if you made it to the BBM finals and had two rosters that were really similar, you'd be
chilling.
like, who cares? God bless. God bless. But in this, you're like, man, I'm going against, 2,500 teams and one of my super similar teams.
Yeah, I guarantee like I am not being diverse enough, but I plan to do 3 or 4x the amount I've done already, and I will mix it up a little bit. Was hoping.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those things where you just can't get like serious size down and also be like insanely diverse. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, this draft's called the sprint. We gotta get the guy who's the fastest fucking player of all time. I mean, that's
Smart.
just
He's on the slum now.
And he just got engaged, right?
Just makes sense.
Yeah. It'd be funny if we sent like a support ticket to Underdog and just with like the 40 times of all of our players and be like, we win, right? Like that's what the contest was. Who can draft the fastest team?
Well, it's like eliminator ass picks, right? Is one thing. In the sprint, you got to take the guys with the young legs, like the fast fucks. Like that's what we're doing out here. Like I don't know what Ned's is doing. Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp, like wheels are falling off by week 15. Like that's just bad sprint. That's bad sprint plays. So you gotta go wheels up. Truly, the sprint.
Yeah, I got a little different. I took Mixon with the Tank Dell. Maybe we'll get some later game stacks there.
What do you guys make of the CJ Stroud slow slide down in ADP?
I don't take him unless he's past pick 80, honestly. I think I have very little Stroud right now.
I think you have to push it now just because he's falling. I mean, I don't really think he should be falling that much. Is this all happening because like ETR ranks have him buried? Is that really why this is happening?
Where do they have him? I don't even know.
I assume so. Yeah.
I think they have him like, at least I heard Leone talk that they have him like closer to like Dak and Love. And so I assume
pretty sure I'm using their sprint rankings right now, and he's at 67, but I haven't updated this in a week. So
maybe I'm slandering Leone.
It could also be way different in sprint versus BBM ranks too. Like,
yeah,
I could see that. I like looking at him as like a martyrdom grenade in Call of Duty, where I just push him past his ADP, and half the time I see somebody who has like Saquon and JT take him, and they have no correlation, and then I just kind of smile to myself and keep my Nico or Tank Dell or Steph Diggs and just go on with my life.
Yeah. It surprised. I remember when drafts first opened up, it was post Diggs trade. And I remember talking on the Badge Bros, and I was like, CJ Stroud's never going to fall past the 5th because you have 3 different stack partners who are all going to want to crack at him. Like, are they really all going to let him go by? And now they let him go by multiple rounds in a row. So I'm like, well, hey, take the L on that.
Yeah, we got
Dak going before Stroud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Dak going really high, but still.
So the first person here who's going to take Stroud would maybe be Crass Rich at 80.
Yeah,
because we're all you and I both have a quarterback already, and I mean Crass Rich could maybe push it to 88. I honestly might be tempted if he was there at 87 to just take him as my second QB though, and just okay, I got 2 QBs that are solid. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm really not taking that much just because I'm in that exact same range. I'm drafting Richardson like every opportunity I can get, and he's someone I'm even reaching up for ahead of ADP. And so it just makes it really hard for me to end up with Stroud.
I'm probably too underweight on Richardson because I end up taking Pitts or any of those wide receivers or the running backs almost always over him. There we go. Carved Muffin took him, and maybe he'll get Dalton Schultz later.
Wow. Unstacked. And that's the other wild thing about the CJ Stroud, because it's like the three Houston drafters are trying to push it. And then some rogue drafters like, man, I kind of like this value.
That happens when I have Jamar Chase and I'm trying to push Joe Burrow like every fucking time.
Yeah.
Always.
That's a hard one because there's some amount of drafters who are like, I don't know, man, this is a whole new injury for quarterbacks. Can't draft Burrow. And other ones are like, it's Joe Burrow. You see him in the in that suit with no back, like just got to take him.
Oh, Crutches loves that suit.
Deeze gets his guy Najee.
Oh, I had to.
I kind of love Aaron Jones here.
Yeah.
Imagine in week 15, you know, this is when my guy shines. That's he's playoff king.
I've been selecting a lot of Aaron Jones. I like him here as well. And then coming back, Keon Coleman does go. Nothing we need to do at quarterback.
I don't mind hitting Jalen Warren as a bring back on Xavier Worthy playoff matchup.
Yeah. Well, also Baltimore week 16 too.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Would you have done? Do you ever double tap the Steelers guys?
Way too much. I was really glad you took them because I would have just irresistibly double tapped them. I just saw Zamir White's Instagram story though, and I gotta get more of him. Dude looks like the fucking Hulk.
Yeah, I love this little range of running back, to be honest. It's I really started trying to hold off until, you know, touching this threshold. But Norris has me a little spooked on Jonathan Brooks, I will say. I get the bull case, and I do like it maybe in this format where we're playing for the 15, 16, 17 weeks, but I'm a little spooked on some of the, I don't know, just really haven't seen.
Look at him, dude. How can you not take him?
This is what influence. Yeah.
Antonio Pierce said
I'm influenced.
He's going to touch the ball 20 plus times a game. Like,
yeah.
I'm
in on
RB1 right there.
I would say, like, if I just saw this
Look
guy.
what Pickle said. It's your by week 3.
I mean, he doesn't even look like he's a football player. He just looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That is pretty nuts.
Dude, his fucking biceps are the size of the goddamn NFL regulation football.
Yeah, his
Poor
biceps
Dylan
are
Lowby, dude.
Christ.
Having to share a backfield with that dude.
And he has no competition. Like, I think Madison's dust. I don't even know how to pronounce Lobby's last name. He doesn't have a picture. He can't be good. Like, give me this guy.
I'm with you, man. I think
I'm addicted to taking him with Devontae and just hoping, like, there were so many times where I would just take Jacobs and Devontae together in DFS and be like, I'm getting, I don't know, 60% plus of the touches from Vegas. And if you take both of them in best ball, it feels pretty comfy. Like, I'm a little underweight on Brock Bowers. I'm taking more Njoku over him. So I'm kind of betting on Vegas through Zamir and Devontae.
Yeah.
Skeleton Key AOC.
Oh man, I got forced into taking a Gardner Minshew share on DraftKings and threw up in my mouth. This is one of those times where, like, they just take their third quarterbacks by pick 160, and the only person available at pick 180 is Minshew or Darnold. And you're like, okay,
yeah,
I don't have a QB2.
It's disgusting.
I don't have a QB2.
Justin Fields do you have on DraftKings? Is he like your emergency quarterback?
No, I really, I'm actually taking Russ more than I'm taking Fields. I'll go check what I have over there. I don't think I have more than 4% Fields, but I'll go check and verify. I end up with Fields a little more in the 18th on Underdog. It's like my third QB where I really just have two people. It's normally like if I have Pickens or Freiermuth and there's some game environment in the last couple weeks where I'm like, fuck it. But on DraftKings, I'm taking more. Because a lot of the times I like to take Russ with like Jalen Hurts because I know, for the most part, Russ is going to be playing week 5. And other than Nez, dude, man, I'm going to take Romeo, dude. Like it's
not
grim.
even a Steeler.
I know. This is gonna get bad for me at wide receiver with what
I
I'm
know
about to
this
do
is
here.
what happens, man. Well, you got those 3 early ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shut it down at tight end, I think here, and then I'll piss my pants for a little bit.
It was that Instagram photo, man. It really sent you down a dark place.
Well, at that pick, you're looking at like Keon Coleman.
Yeah, he's a
I think
brutal one to
I
pick
think
without
Mostert here is a
that
smash, Clay.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Pick 107. Yeah, I love Fields in those builds where it's like I have 2. I actually just made the video about it and posted the clip a bit ago where it's like you have like Derek Carr and Matthew Stafford, and then you have like Pickens or a Steelers player, and you need a round 18. Like it's so perfect then. Just
So
pray.
I only have
Starting by
2
17.
Fields lineups on DraftKings right now. Not ideal, but I'm sure I'll end up with more.
Clay, we could do Dobbs, although Deeze is really starving in the wilderness here.
Oh fuck!
No, please take him. I don't want him.
I was gonna say we go Tajay Spears there, and maybe like just try to hold off at 4 running backs. If we want to do that, I'm down with Javonte. Yeah, it's kind of a gross range for receiver, so I don't mind getting a 4th running back and then maybe getting a little creative.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I don't really like capitulating too much here.
No.
I'd rather just grab a running back.
Yeah, points wise. So let's go from that.
So we've
they
gone
play Indy week 15 too. So if we're prioritizing a little more early playoff, we'll
there you
bring
go.
back on the AR.
Yep. And Deeze takes the Dobbs plunge. I don't mind.
I like the idea that a couple of these Green Bay wide receivers are going to outperform, but I don't like the idea that we're betting on 4 or 5 of them and just throwing darts. Like I could take Brandon Cooks and have the correlation in week 17, and I know that he's going to be the wide receiver 2 probably, but I don't love his upside. Whereas like with these Green Bay guys, if Christian Watson's hamstring hurts again and one of the other dudes gets injured, like 2 of these guys are going to do well. Whether it's Wicks or Reed or fucking Bo Melton or whoever, like
Bo Melton.
I mean, they're gonna.
It's bow
a
time.
couple of these guys, I think, are gonna do well. So,
yeah, I just feel like it gets in those weird spots where part of the thesis is like, okay, it's ambiguous. So yeah, Wicks, the cheap guys, I'm definitely on board with that. But it's also like it is ambiguous, and like if we're in on this offense and these guys hit, like you don't want 0 Dobbs just because he fell in a weird range for wide receiver.
Yeah, and especially there, it's like I got 5 picks of value or something on him. I could have taken Jacoby and had more of the Vegas bet and the Atlanta correlation in week 15. I could have taken the Cooks, but
no, man. The Zamir thesis, once you see that Instagram photo, is that there's literally no room for anyone else in the photo because he's so big and everyone else gets elbowed out.
He has his own bench.
All right, Andy, what do you got cooking up here? You got Jared Goff with JMO.
God damn it! I was like, oh, I can wait on Tua because who's going to take him? And this guy needs
for you. No soup for you.
Yeah, he's the naked Tua. So Deshaun Watson, come on down. He's my second most owned quarterback.
Man, the naked Tua has to be one of the. You know what? If it's 25 picks past ADP and you got way too cute or whatever, all right. But at ADP unstacked, that is a gross snipe.
The Dak unstacked too. Just a wild team.
Yeah, I should have known with who that was. I was like contemplating it. Can I push it? And I thought I could. I took Goff. I never draft Jared Goff, which I don't feel super comfy with because I take a lot of Detroit guys. Just like one of those things where all of a sudden it's a range of picks where he goes, and I look and I'm like, oh, he's not there anymore. I feel like he's someone who just always happens to be taken a little bit before he's on my radar.
Yeah. I always do like
no. Yeah, you have no backstack option with him. You're taking Khalif Raymond, and it's over.
Yeah.
That is one of the joys of doing a bunch of drafts when you're the ranges of these boards, and then you're like, this guy's never here. This is what a treat. What an absolute treat to be able to get this guy on my team.
This is definitely an interesting room as far as like the triple QB Stroud, Williams, Trevor Lawrence is unique.
Here I go, just taking 2 random Green Bay wide receivers and just hoping the other 2 get hurt.
Clay, I can't imagine another click than Josh Downs stacked up here.
Yeah, I'll close my eyes and pretend I didn't hear Sean speak the other morning against.
Oh, he is.
No, I'm
Yeah,
into it.
It was fun to get those 2 differing perspectives, but it's like if Anthony Richardson is a league winner for us, like I want pieces.
Yeah,
and Sean is at least consistent with his stuff. Like he's not very in on Richardson, but it's like once you take Richardson, Downs is a screamer. And I feel like sometimes in these builds you get shut out of like the Downs, and we did just see this run: Judy, Wicks, Downs, Polk. But that didn't break too bad for us there.
I don't mind Leggett here. Kind of fun. Come on in the playoff timing.
Yeah.
I think structurally we got to go wide receiver too, so I'm cool.
Absolutely with that. Another gross click, but very nice correlation with the Philly and Atlanta players.
There you go. That's
I think I've given up on my guy Jahan Dotson this year. It's like the first year I'm like not drafting him.
I think I have more Dotson than Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I think I do. I have very little of either. Although the sprint draft I did before this, I did the mega backdoor Jaden. So I did Jaden, Dotson, McCaffrey, and Sinnott all late.
If you clicked on
Tyler, I really like that one.
I refuse.
I have clicked on Ertz. That is like the one Commanders player that I low key.
I've taken him on DraftKings where it's like the 20th round. And you're like, fuck, I don't. Every Jaden Daniels stack partner I had got sniped.
It is gross, but it low key, like, I don't know, it makes sense, especially if I'm going for maybe like a Bowers tight end or like a tight end that your thing comes on maybe a little bit later in the year, perhaps. Like Ertz, I don't know, man. It's like, okay, we have the whole rookie tight end theme where they don't normally perform super, super well. It's more of an outlier if they do in their first year. Going with Cliff, in that offense, like it just kind of screams that he's going to get opportunity until his body breaks down. So we'll see.
Yeah, I always just process that news of like the Ertz stuff. It's like a bummer for Sinnott, but I'm never like, I want to go draft Zach Ertz. I know like the DraftKings PPR, 2 extra rounds PPR is a different story. He's not on the UD menu for me though.
No, I haven't taken him on underdog. How do you feel about Hawkinson in something like the sprint?
I talked to him about him in that video I made on the Deposit Kingdom for kind of like discounted players. I'm down on him, or I mean, I'm in on him. The thing I was thinking through when I made that video, though, is like I want him almost like we were talking about Fields in 3 tight end builds.
Oh,
like, I don't even want to do 2 tight end because it's like you just have a 0 for like the entire regular season. But like a late 3 tight end where you have like Musgrave, Hawk, and I don't know, whatever. Kate Otten.
Likely.
Likely.
Well. Yeah.
Although likely.
Yeah, he's one I like if I end up not coming out with one of the elite tight ends. And you're like, what's the narrative I can tell myself where I catch up here with the people who have the elite tight ends? Like he is that story, or at least one of the more compelling ones. And so I've been taking him a little bit more recently. I think that he's probably, especially when he slips, sometimes it will get him really late. I got him at like 170 the other day or something. That felt nice.
Yeah, that's one of the things I see. Like I see him go past 160 in BBM quite a bit. And it's, his ceiling the last 3 weeks of the season is as high as anybody's. It just sucks that you're going to get a 0.
I love Pop Douglas here.
Let's do it. Pop, and then there's 2. Yeah, there's 2 things we could do. I mean, we can push Rodgers. We could also take Hunter Henry and then open up May potentially too.
I am praying Bearman doesn't click on my quarterback here.
Yeah, if you think we can push QB, I'm fine too, because I think when we bet on Richardson, I'm kind of down to like not prioritize it so much, and he might make it back to us. Rodgers, but I do like it with the correlate. I mean, when I have Garrett Wilson, I do often take Rodgers because it just kind of feels like if Wilson's going to ball out those weeks, like Rodgers can come on for the ride. So
Yeah, the only other backdoor stack we have now, I mean, we can still do May, although they have the same bye week, which isn't ideal.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
I'd
So I
probably
think
lock up
we lock.
Rodgers.
Yeah, let's lock up Rodgers. Let's not get too cute.
All right.
I've really enjoyed clicking on Wandale this year, so I'm sure he's gonna fuck me. Like around here, I'm addicted to the Giants, man. Something about them. Just last 3 years, I just keep clicking on them.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. And now they get Neighbors, who's so exciting.
Yeah, and if you think Neighbors is gonna do well, like it in my head only has to help the other guys get open and do well as well. So, and everybody who isn't Neighbors is free.
Yep.
It's fun.
I meant to ask
The
you,
bunch is the 18th rounder.
who?
Your favorite 18th rounder, Pete. That's my. I'm on
Oh,
consensus
Devontae
there.
Walker.
No, Hyatt for the Giants. So
Oh, Hyatt. Yeah.
Week 17 smash City.
Yeah. I know you're always on your UNC guys though.
True, but I mean, I'm definitely more measured this year for sure. I'm not packing Sam Howell bags, which is why I had so much scary Terry and Johan Dotson last year because I was just fucking stacking them up left and right.
Deeze, I was gonna ask because you got sober summer going. Do you think that's helping or hindering your drafts?
Probably helping. I mean, I can't imagine it's hurting them that much. Maybe I'm not being as quote unquote unique as I should be.
Your third eye isn't open as much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not just like making really dumb, like, oh man, I don't really need a third quarterback here, but like Baker fell 20 picks and I'm just gonna take him unstacked because what if in week 17 he's the guy you need? Like, I'm not making any of those calls. So it's probably helping, but we'll see. We'll see at the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat last year. I mean, I think I lost like 75% of my entry fees. Like my highest owned players were like Danny Dimes, Lenny Fournette. Like it was just a shit show.
Yeah, you were drafting Danny Dimes on like every single team.
I can make a case for taking a naked Danny Dimes at pick 90 in any draft last year. It's like, fuck it. It's white Michael Vick. Like he's fine. Let me just take him.
So sober D's seeing the Giants in a different light. No, now you're just playing them through Wan'Dale Robinson.
Well, now it's, especially like when I have Hurts so much, I like taking Danny because like I think he's gonna be out there week 5. And it's a problem. I'm also taking way too much Will Levis. I have this like fucking
video pilled.
I have a ton of DeAndre Hopkins. I know he's older, whatever. Taking way too much Pollard and Tajay. Taking Chig. It's like, why would I not take Will Levis with all these players? What could go wrong? Taking a lot of Geno too. I think
that's
one of the more comfy.
Geno.
Yeah. Like I don't have any Seattle stuff going on here, but
the Seahawks line up just so well. It's like there's one of them every 2.5 rounds, and they just kind of, move along at a nice clip.
I'm playing the Seahawks to the running backs. I try to get one of those guys on just about every team I can. It's like the Seahawks, Titans, those two backfields, and Steelers, like very comfy clicks. Like if you get one of those guys on most of your drafts, like I'm having a good time.
I have a lot of Charbonnet, like he's like over 20% for me on both websites, but I'm not getting a lot of Kenneth Walker. Wait, you wanted Elijah?
Yeah, I think he's a great pick in the sprint because what if they just ball out and shut down CMC one of the weeks?
Exactly. What if he gets hurt? Like this dude's contingent upsides through the roof.
I say
we grab a couple of Jets here.
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Braylon is he's Eli Mitchell, but on our team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
true.
Braylon.
I don't mind Braylon. I'm just such a breeze pool that I'm with the pick. I'm not like.
But this is how you play it.
Exactly.
Saying, if those breeze bags go to shit, it's probably because Braylon is now the king there.
For sure.
So lovely, lovely options here. Who the hell are these people showing up under wide receiver? Dre Miller, Isaiah McCoy, Josh Johnson. Like, what do you guys see this shit?
What do you
sort by ADP?
What am I looking at?
It's what Nez was talking about, right? I believe on.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
guys having
the
some
Badge
tweak?
Simulator.
I don't know.
No,
I
dude,
see
yeah.
these names that I've never seen before. I'm gonna just.
You're
put a
not
tweet
drafting
out.
Isaiah McCoy?
Okay, I just got him, but I had to scroll all the way down. Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Sort
No,
by
'cause I was looking
ADP
by
and not
rank.
your
ADP,
ranks.
yeah.
And they're just like,
Bizarre.
Maurice? Who is this person?
What? With 2 Fs? Maurice for French? For French.
There's some fucking like collusion going on here in the sprint where people are entering 10 of their own fucking lineups and drafting players who are undrafted. Like, where are these people coming? Oh, okay. Nez said.
Different
There's
kind of
been
eliminator
so
ass picks,
few.
eliminated from the platform.
If you draft any of those players, you get automatically banned.
You
Like,
just
it just
fucking
the draft
newbie
shuts
ban.
down.
It is because it's just such a small amount. You know, there's only been what 2,100 picks of these, so it's like you one rogue pick like gets you on the ADP radar pretty quick. Who wants to take Harry Trotter? Who the fuck is Harry
interesting.
Trotter? Doesn't even have a
Sounds
team.
fake.
He's interesting.
That sounds fake. That sounds like Madden creative player gone fucking wrong. Like I'm gonna try out Harry Trotter.
It's Harry
What the fuck are
Trotter.
you doing?
It's like
Can you look him
so
up?
unbelievable.
Like,
It sounds like Harry Potter.
Harry.
This dude's name is Maurice French with 2 F's.
Dude, Harry Trotter looks exactly like how you would imagine a Harry
Yeah,
Trotter would look like too.
we got to do. We got
Is he
to
a
do it.
ginger? Like, I would imagine
This is
like
Harry.
Just
Wait,
his name's
someone already
Cat.
made a calendar. Harry Trotter wall
insane.
calendar.
That's amazing.
Who is the other one? French.
Maurice French with 2 F's. The first F is silent.
And the first F is for getting fucked for drafting him.
The first F is for scroll the F down and just keep scrolling.
Oh.
Harry Trotter.
I'm surprised these players are even in the pool.
Yeah,
We ain't doing enough.
that,
We don't want it bad
I'm
enough,
sure
for
that guy who invented scroll the F down is pretty proud about that, that Harry Trotter joke, John.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Someone on Twitter the other day. Really had a
Yeah.
consistent handle.
John was getting litigious on Twitter.
Yeah, he's got
By the way,
copyright that.
John, I booked John for the randomizer. Already got some fun prompts
Nice.
rolling in for this week.
I love the one where you had Ian go find vegetables.
Yeah.
I would have definitely failed that one. I would have had like an avocado, and that would have been it. I don't even think that's a vegetable.
He had to go to what? Mint leaf.
Yeah, mint.
to go to
Mint.
spice. And then we were all, debating
Mint
whether
leaf.
herbs were vegetables or not.
Oh man.
Clay, are you going to be able to pull a tight end out of your ass for us?
Yeah, I think so. Unless actually, maybe they went.
Nate
Is,
Adkins looks nice according to ADP.
Oh, Conklin's already out the board, eh?
Yeah,
No, why
sorry.
is Nate Adkins?
You don't,
So I
even
don't-
know. He's going to be huge this year.
Is that a
Dude, I
diet?
don't draft this guy a lot, but I do feel like this might be a good Juwan
You're about to
Johnson
say
pick.
something crazy, I can tell.
No. I'm pretty measured. Juwan Johnson feels like a good
Oh,
for
yeah.
like
Okay.
we have McBride for the whole season.
That's
He
the
comes back
least
later in the
crazy
season.
pick.
I know. I said it.
I love taking Jawan in
Changing
the
the brand.
18th round right now. Like, I
Yeah.
think I have 20% of him. It's probably a little high, but he seems pretty free for what it seems like is not going to be that big of a deal. I mean, I know it's his foot and that he runs, but they're not really making
it is
sound
important.
like.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not really making it sound like it's anything too big.
This is Hyatt for me. The Hyatt week 17 fucking slammer hammer.
All right. I think structurally we maybe need a running back just slightly more.
Yeah. Okay, look at running back. Who's
You
left that
Dante
we can take
Foreman
running back?
Bowl,
No. Absolutely not.
Tank Bigsby.
No.
Do
It'd be
like
Keith Mitchell for me. Keith Mitchell as a bring back to Tank Dell, Baltimore, week
All right.
15 through 17. That would be who I would pick here.
All right, I did it for you.
All right.
I'll step on the Hyatt grenade for everybody because I was fully mentally prepared to draft Odell Beckham had you taken Hyatt there.
Just
We
Have
should
any of you
bounces
guys,
out your
speaking of
one
Odell
dollar.
Beckham, have any of you guys been watching Love Island USA?
Is he
No.
on that?
His brother is on it.
Oh.
And the the rumors on social media is that like the girl who is with him is only with him because she's like an Odell fangirl, and so there's all these screenshots of her like heart emojiing, replying to his Instagram posts and stuff from years ago.
my god,
That's so
that's
good.
funny.
I need to tap into Love Island.
This season of Love Island is crazy. I mean, it's a lot of television. It's like every single night of the week for like 6 weeks straight.
What?
That's how you draft marathon lineups. You just fucking sit there, wait for it to fill, watch 4 hours of Love Island, and go to bed and see what you got.
What a life. Wow, someone took Russell Wilson.
I was kind of jealous of the last round Danny Dimes share that I didn't take, but somebody else got.
Let's recap these teams here. Deeze, why don't you read your team off for us here?
Yeah, we had a heavy Atlanta stack, and we took AJ Brown, Drake London, Tank Dell, took the Hurts, Kyle Pitts, did a little shitting, and we got our Mixon, Najee, Zamir, wrapped up tight end with Goddard, stacked it with Hurts, took a whole bunch of wide receivers we don't like Dubes and Wicks, hoping that Christian Watson doesn't get his hamstring. Christian calling him Christian nickname. But it took Jahan Dotson for all the correlation. Antonio Gibson, I think he'll have a role. Got the Kirk Cousins late. Elijah Mitchell praying for a CMC injury, and then 3 wide receivers we don't absolutely hate with another Atlanta player and Rondale Moore, because I not super excited about what Darnell Mooney can do, but I think Atlanta as a whole will outproduce.
I like this team.
I do too.
I like the kind of skinny running back room, and that's how you kind of balance it, because you had to catch up at wide receiver, and then you're jacked up at
with Zamir White. It's not skinny, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I have three running backs who hopefully will get a bunch of touches every week. Maybe Arthur Smith will fuck Najee, but like at least Joe Mixon and Zamir. And then we have Tank Dell and Joe Mixon, just hoping Houston outproduces. Like I like it.
Your running back room, like the theme is like guys who all show up to camp like 20 pounds overweight, and then they got to slim back.
Eddie Lacy's baby. I was a big Eddie Lacy drafter.
Oh man, he was great back in the day.
That's the theme from Uncle Lenny.
All right, yeah. I don't normally
Lenny,
do a 3 double threes at the onesies, but I went a 3-5-7-3. So I have Jared Goff, Deshaun Watson, because I was sniped on Tua, and then I kind of made it my mission to screw that guy over by taking more Miami players, and Baker Mayfield. And then I have Devon Achane, ETN, Kenneth Walker, Gus Edwards, and Jaleel McLaughlin, he's my highest on running back right now. I draft him a lot. And then at wide receiver, I have Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Jameson Williams, Ricky Pearsall, and Cedric Tillman. Pearsall is a nice one because he hits a lot of the correlations. He had a big C number in the brick draft caddy. And then at tight end, I have Njoku, Tyler Conklin, and Jonnu Smith. And I did the classic slappy, really stack the week 17 games, even though you don't have to, because it's 15, 16, 17.
That's going to be one thing. If you're sitting in first in the sprint after week 16, all the week 17 stack slappies are coming. They're going to be charging. They're hard.
I swear that the right strategy is to just do like all week 15 and 16 correlations, because most people, like, just without even thinking about it, are going to focus on the week 17.
For sure. All right, Clay, recap our team here for the people.
Alrighty. Up top, we got AR-15, got Aaron Rod, double ARs out here. Aaron Jones, Jalen Warren, Raheem Mostert, Javonte, Braylon Allen, for when Breece's wheels fall off, and Keaton Mitchell. So I like this room a lot. We got some playoff week upside, I think. Fresh legs is the theme of the wide receiver room. Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, fastest man alive, Xavier Worthy, Josh down with the hands, no pitcher though. Xavier Legette, Pop Douglas, and Malachi Corley. I mean, I don't know if it might be the fastest wide receiver room in the whole draft. So I feel good about that. And then we got Trey McBrizzy and Juwan Johnson to round out the team.
Trey McBrizzy, is that something you've said before? Did that just roll off the tongue?
No, that was off the cuff. First time for everything, but we'll see. Yeah, I like it, man. I like this team a lot. It was a fun one. Let's go sprinting.
So Deeze, are you checking in on your exposures a lot, or are you just kind of vibing and then you peek in on them?
I'm kind of vibing, honestly. I didn't check my eliminators till I had like 100 done. That was probably a mistake. I was like, oh, I have 22% clear frame, and that's not great. I don't know what I was doing there. But with like BBM and stuff, I don't think I really cared too much until round 50. And what am I at right now? 77.
Yeah.
And that feels pretty good. But I'm not drafting with the exposure percent up yet. Like I'll do that in the final, I don't know, 50 drafts or so. But I like just drafting with the weeks 15, 16, 17 matchups in front of me and then kind of just going off there. But yeah, I'm looking right now. I have like 22% Hurts, 22% DeMarcus Robinson, 22% Rashee Rice, 26% Jalen, 24% Rico Dowdle. So I have some pretty big stands, but nobody over that 26% Jalen Warren, which is good. It's not like I'm like, holy shit, I have 40% Mark Andrews and can't click anybody else between picks 45 and 50.
I mean, whatever you have to try so hard to be like over 30% if you're doing a ton of teams. Like it is really hard. Like
yeah, you're making up all sorts of weird scenarios in your head. Like Najee Harris is just going to be better than everybody through Ramondre, and it's like probably not.
What about you, Andy? You said you're doing a bunch of slow drafts. So is your exposures? Are you checking in on them?
Not really. I just looked for the first time ever. So no, not really is an understatement. No, at my BBM exposure, and so I have 45 finished teams and a lot going. I enter at least one slow of the eliminator, BBM, and the sprint every day, sometimes more.
That makes a lot of sense because I feel like I see you in every slow sprint I'm doing.
Yep. Last couple of days I've been doing more too. I think I realized I'm a little bit behind, and so I need to start ramping it up. But I also don't want to be stuck at the end in August having to do like 4-hour timers and just not sleeping. But so my highest is 26.5%. And that's Jerry Jeudy, which again does not feel great. Don't totally know how that happened, but it's only 45 teams, and like I know I haven't been picking him that much recently. And then I have like Mike Williams. I think it's like wide receivers in that range playing a little bit of catch up. Christian Kirk is my highest owned, like lower. Him and Devon Achane are like the two high guys who I'm way over the field on. And then like Derek Carr is my highest owned quarterback. Trevor Lawrence pretty close behind him. Juwan Johnson is really high up there. Same with like Jonnu Smith. I find myself doing a lot of 3 tight end. I'm kind of like going a bit against the grain there with the elite tight end stuff. I'm definitely still doing it when I'm presented the opportunity. But I think I tend to be a little bit more flexible. Like I said, Devon Achane I'm really high ownership on, so I'm taking a lot of like him early on, and then I don't feel comfortable taking a tight end there because then I'm also like trying to take like Anthony Richardson or someone. And so it's like Luke Musgrave, Juwan Johnson, Jonnu Smith, guys who I can like tell myself the story of them having a much more explosive season than you would expect.
Yeah.
Are you guys team Justin Jefferson or Amon-Ra?
I'd take Jefferson first.
Same.
Yeah. I'm at 17% Justin Jefferson through 77 BBMs. And somehow I'm at 6% Amon-Ra. So I don't know what I'm doing here.
Well, there was, I ended up with a lot more Jefferson early on because it was like the randomness of I was getting 1.6s when people were taking Amon-Ra ahead of Jefferson because of that contract holdout stuff. So I kept getting Jefferson at 6 early. Now I'm like getting 1.5s again and still taking Jefferson. So you end up with those like weird disparities.
Yeah, I just looked. CD Lamb, I'm really not getting enough of. I'm at 5%. So he's my lowest owned in the top 8. And I think that's just a product.
101, my guy.
I do. That's something where like in my last 50 drafts, if I'm at 9 or 10% CMC and 5% CD, that I'll just start taking CD 1.1 every time I get them.
Yeah. I think I'm close to, I think I'm going to update the draft caddy, swap out the week 17 matchup because I have those memorized and put my exposures there and do that for a little bit. And then come August, I'm going to put in those ETR ownership projections. So like when I'm in the last round, starting to like not get as comfy with just like clicking the same guys and be like, wait, who's been selected 20% of the time instead of, 80% or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at DraftKings. I like my exposures over there more. I have like 24% Jalen Waddle, and that's all getting him in the third. 22% Debo with all of him in the third. Like you're getting all these guys. 21% Ayuk with like all of him in the third, and yeah, it's another world over there.
Are you guys? I'm still Chase over Justin Jefferson. Are you guys Jefferson over Chase?
I'm Chase over Jefferson.
I am too. I can toy with the idea of it in my head, but I think that Chase is just too good to make the stand of like, oh, I'm not going to draft this player, essentially, because that's basically what you're saying if you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to have like 20% plus Justin
that.
Jefferson if you do that. And it's,
yeah.
I don't feel that confident to take like under 4% Chase and 20% Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. And I think it also comes back to like the overall, there's just more uncertainty, I think, with the Vikings offense, just with so many new variables where it's just like, I guess, unless you're super bearish about the Burrow injury thing, which I just haven't really cared about, maybe I should. But the ceiling for Burrow and Chase is just so massive.
Are you fans of taking Chase and Higgins together, or are you picking one or the other?
It's hard to do now because T never comes back to like the late fourth. So,
it's
but
DraftKings special for me.
Is it easy to do?
He's sitting there at like pick 50, T Higgins.
Oh, jeez. I would do that for sure.
Yeah, after they just took Josh Jacobs and Joe Mixon as their running back 4, you're getting T Higgins at the end of the 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny too because it was like last year that was like the thing everyone loved to do was like the Chase Higgins. And now this year it's cheaper. I still like it, especially because then you can really push Burrow.
Because the other one, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Keep going.
No, I was just going to say it used to be like you were having to take Higgins at the 2-3 turn, and then you were like having to take Burrow in the 5th, and now you can get that same stack, and it's all cheaper.
And if you have Chase and Higgins, like no one really wants to touch Burrow unless it's somebody who took 5 running backs in the first 5 rounds.
No soup for you.
The other one that I'm torn on is Puka plus Cup. I don't get that one as much, but if you get them two in Stafford and just assume it's like a Hill Waddle situation, like I don't take Hill and Waddle together. Maybe I should, but
I don't like that one either.
I'd much rather take Hill and HM and then just assume that they're the ones who you need. But like, yeah, taking both Hill and Waddle just doesn't feel great to me.
For anyone who was playing the dailies last year on Underdog, it was like every week, one Miami running back, one Miami receiver, and you pair those two together. It was very rarely. I don't know if there was a week where it was both of the Dolphins wide receivers.
Yeah, and I feel like HN's moving up a bit too. People are watching these highlight videos and they're like, oh shit, maybe I need more of this guy. Maybe he's like CMC.
Yeah,
maybe the guy who had like the most efficient rookie running back season ever.
Yeah, I mean, if Mostert gets hurt, this dude's gonna be a monster. And maybe he's gonna be a monster without Mostert getting hurt.
Yep. All right, dudes. This was a blast. Deeze, anything you want people to check out? Obviously, they know where you are on.
Yeah, they know where I'm at. I'll see them drafting. If you see me and you want to let me pick up a AFC North player, 6 picks or more past ADP, I appreciate it. And as always, just thanks for having me on. Love vibing with you guys and watching all your content.
Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate you swinging by. Andy, what's good at IKB this week?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a best ball contest come out next week.
Nice,
but it's actually gonna be very different. We decided to mix it up because we're a little bit, since we're smaller, we're a little bit worried about the like the fill rate on lobbies and stuff. Like I just don't want people sitting for forever, and so it's actually going to be a salary capped draft best ball, where what we're doing is we haven't figured out the cadence yet, but every couple of days we'll be updating the salary caps, and it's a submit and locked. You can't change your lineup once you submit, and it's all based on the current ADP. It's going to be off of DraftKings because we're using DraftKings scoring and stuff, but it'll be based on current ADP, and the draft capital of that ADP will be the salary. And so you will be able to like construct a roster
your
same as
team.
Yes, but then so like you can't really do that because of how the draft capital works. But you could do like if you wanted to have CeeDee Lamb and Christian McCaffrey on the same team, you could, but then you just have to have like a bunch of round 18 picks. for the rest of your team. But I think it's going to be interesting. It'll be a lot smaller.
That's sick, man.
But it also is nice because you don't have to sit in a draft lobby and do stuff. You can just fill out a team for yourself. I'm excited to see how people react to it. I think we'll probably do a more normal one next year, but I think it should be fun.
Dude, I love that. It's funny too, because I'm working on a video that I'm gonna put out next week on Deposit Kingdom. That's gonna be my favorite pick in each round. And I kind of making it, the goal is to make it look realistic, as if like you could get all of these guys, which it sounds like what your salary cap thing would be. Like if you had your favorite player in each round, you could essentially put them all together on a team.
Yeah, and so you like obviously can draft like perfect correlation, whatever, and really the variable is just your whatever salary you spend. And so I think it'll be interesting. I think like you'll see very different rosters come out of it because you can like more reasonably do like a hero RB builder kind of thing because you're not going to get sniped on anything because that doesn't exist, and things like that. And so I'll be curious to see kind of how people react to it, but I think it'll be fun. Something that I would like to play. So.
Is it going to be like BBM type format where it's weeks 1 through 14 and then tough pods to get out of weeks 15 and 16, or is it going to be like flatter?
So since there's no draft pods, it'll kind of be like a bastard child of like the BBM and then like the marathon or the sprint. So it'll be a full bucket of all teams, and then it'll be like the top 20% advance each week to the finals, and it ends up with like a 50-person finals in week 17 based on that from what we have right now. So you'll be competing against all of your teams as well, because otherwise you could just get really bad pod luck. Like you could end up in a pod where it's like everyone has the same quarterback. I don't know, there's just like weird things that could come out of it, and so it'll just be one big bucket for everyone.
Yeah,
nice.
that sounds super. Let the people know this is going to drop on IKB, right?
Yeah, so the website's ikb.gg. If you follow my Twitter, you can see it in the bio there. But yeah, it should, don't hold me to it, but I believe it will be going live next week. And so,
nice.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. It'll be no rake, so totally free. I think we're going to do a $100,000 contest to start. So it'll be like 10K to first, 15K to first, and there'll be 100,000 in, 100,000 out, no rake. That's what we do for all of our contests.
That's awesome. We'll either on the club or I'll schedule another stream with you and we can build one.
Oh yeah.
I think that sounds like fun.
Yeah, totally.
I love it. It's literally like DFS meets best ball.
That's the goal. I mean, hopefully it's fun. It's one of the things where you can't really test it until it's live. And so
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Well, and then there's going to be the super fun game theory, right? Where it's like same with DFS. Like if you build like, the chalk and the comfiest thing and everyone's doing it, you're so like, okay, maybe I do need to get a little weirder here.
Yeah. And I think the one other thing that's interesting is since the lineups lock immediately after you submit it and the prices will be changing regularly, there's some idea of like the same kind of like barbell thing of, do you think Juwan Johnson is going to still be like basically free later on, but you want to wait to see other things and stuff. So I think it'll be pretty
That's cool, man. I think that's awesome. Clay, anything going on with you here before we shut this down?
Yeah, I'll just say if anyone is in New York City or going through New York City, for example, if you're going to be joining Pete at the BDG trivia this weekend, stop into one of the Bronx Brewery locations around the city and grab yourself a 4-pack of Collective Beer Project's Limelight, the beer we dropped with them. So been enjoying that all summer. It's a really light, refreshing lime beer. So that's been great. And they got a location in East Village and Hudson Yards and up in the Bronx too. So do yourself a favor and grab yourself some beer. Yeah.
There you go, man. Good stuff, guys. I will. I am going to be in New York if anyone's around on Saturday for that BDG.
I got tickets for that, so I'll be there.
You did? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I think it's noon. The details are, I retweeted a post today if you want to find that on my feed. Keep an eye out for that. Some videos on the Deposit Kingdom channel coming tomorrow. Swolecast off and on the clock. All the regular shows this week, and then of course randomizer with John on Thursday. We're gonna put him through the ringer. Thanks again to Deeze. Thanks to Underdog. Good luck in your sprint drafts. We'll see you guys next time on the club.